Welcome everybody. First of all, thank you so much for showing me so much love. I really appreciate all of your likes, your subs, your comments, and it really motivates me to keep on doing what I'm doing. As promised, I post a new video every Sunday and continue my series on Dokkodo by Miyamoto Musashi. Today I want to talk about the following rule. Consider yourself lightly, consider the world deeply. This rule is very dear to me and I try to incorporate it into my daily life. And what this rule promotes is humility. And that includes to realize that the world does not evolve around us. And by only focusing on ourselves, we forget the big picture. And not only do we forget the big picture, but it can also harm us. For example, in one interview, the medical psychologist Dr. Peterson said that there is no difference between being self-conscious and being miserable. And the peak of being self-conscious often goes hand in hand with social media. Especially young people who grow up with social media these days and are being told by society or by the social media machine how to look, how to behave and what to be, driving them into a false narrative that they have to strive for a certain ideal. Ideals regarding looks or money, leaving them with a feeling of not being enough, sometimes even causing depression. And I found a study supporting this argument, which said the following. Since the release of smartphones, mental health concerns have increased in children and young adults. The rate of adolescents reporting symptoms of major depression in a given year increased by 52% from 2005 to 2017. From 2009 to 2017, it grew by 63% in adults ages 18 to 25. And I know some people myself who suffer from social media and its effects on them. But luckily, there's one antidote to this. And it is, as Musashi said, to consider yourself lightly and to consider the world deeply. And there's one exercise I do every day and has changed my life so much in a positive way. And that is dealing with my ego and realizing that I'm a tiny, tiny, tiny part of the universe. This is one of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen in my life. This is a picture of the Earth from very far away, as you can see. And everything that you and I know takes place on this tiny but beautiful rock. The universe has existed for billions of years and will continue to exist for billions of years. It is vast in a way that we cannot comprehend. And our lifetime, which on average is more or less 80-something years, is only a blink of an eye in its history. And yet I'm sitting here in the middle somewhere in the vast universe on a tiny rock, being a tiny human being and thinking even tinier thoughts. Thinking that the world revolves around me. Instead of being grateful that I just exist for a blink of an eye in its history. And there's one fact that struck me. It is said by scientists that the chances of being alive is estimated to be 1 to 1 trillion. A trillion looks like this. A 1 with 18 zeros. So being alive is the biggest lottery in the universe. Because everything in the history of the universe, which dates back billions and billions of years, had to occur in the exact same order for you to come into existence. For example, if your mom would have missed the bus the day she met your father, you would not exist today. And this is just one example of millions of coincidences. And thinking about this fact gives me a sense of humility and gratitude. Because even though there's no rational reason why I should exist, I get to be a tiny part of the universe and have my own conscious experience. So why should I worry about fulfilling the expectations of society when I can just be happy and grateful and experience the world and what life has to offer? Because I know that my chances of survival are zero. Eventually I will pass and my body will decay. And at some point I will probably be forgotten. And a good friend of mine told me about a great quote by the rapper MacLeod. I heard you die twice. Once they bury you in the grave, and the second time is the last time that somebody mentions your name. And to some it may sound depressing, but to me it is the most liberating thing that exists. Because I can do whatever I want, and at some point everything I do will be forgotten. So why should I worry about what other people think of me? And why should it stop me from doing what I love? or doing what I believe to be right. And this exercise really takes care of my ego. It humbles me, but it also gives me strength. And I think this is another common ground between the philosophy of Miyamoto Musashi and the Stoic philosophy. For a major idea of Stoic philosophy is Memento Mori, remembering your mortality. And incorporating the philosophy of Miyamoto Musashi and the Stoics, the less I think about myself, the more I think about the world, the happier I am. What do you think about this idea? Do you agree? Or do you think it's total BS? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.